The double top is one of the most reliable price action pattern, but just like any other price action pattern, it does not work all the time. So in this video, we are going to look at the different types of the double top and the double bottom, the best time that the double top and the double bottom is most reliable, and lastly, locking in the high and the low, which makes sure that when you are in a trade, it goes in your direction most of the time. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and let's jump into the video. Alright, so in simple terms, the double top is just a price action pattern that looks like this. Now, in order to understand what is happening, first things first, let's understand the different types of double tops and double bottoms. So we have the standard double top that looks like this. So the tops are symmetrical and they are of the same length. We have another scenario where you can have a double top that looks like this. We have another scenario where we can have a double top that looks like this. All these are variations of the double top. Now that we know the variations, we need to look at the time, because if you look at any random chart, you can see we have the double top here, we have a double top here, we have a double bottom here, double bottom here, double top here, double bottom here. They happen all the time. So there are ways in which we increase the odds of these double tops and double bottoms to work. How do we do this? First things first is you need to have a timing window. So our timing window is very simple. We have the Asian session. So the Asian session begins at 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. New York time. And then the London session begins at 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. New York time. And then the New York session begins at 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. New York time. Now you might be wondering, well, I want to trade every day, so what's up with these times? Okay, I understand. Let's look at the volume. Let's look at the times of the day when we have the most volume. So if we look at the volume indicator here, we see that let's begin with today. Look at from 20 so we have the Asian session beginning at 8, so that is 20. So look at, this is when we have an influx in volume from 20 to 23. Let's look at the London session from 2 a.m. to 5. Look at the increase in volume. And then the New York session, we can look at the previous day from 8 to 11. So basically that is when we have the most volume in the market. And the reason why you want to trade the most volume is because you have a lot of traders, you have a lot of liquidity, a lot of money to grab. Now, that aside, timing aside, now we go to the levels. Where do we want to see the double top and the double bottom? Because you can't just take any double top and double bottom anywhere and then expect price to reverse. So there are levels that we pay close attention to, and that is the high of the day and the high of the week. These are the main levels. So just like support and resistance, these are our areas of support and resistance. Let me show you what I mean. So if you look at, so we'll just look at a random chart. If you are trading in the New York session, then you have your low there. The New York session begins at 8 a.m. So this is the low of the day. And the day, these lines, so this line here is the beginning of the day, this is the end of the day. So if you look at the double bottom, so this is where we have our double bottom. We have our W pattern there. And if you look at another example, you have your double bottom at the low of the day. So we are looking to buy low and sell high. So another example is, let's look at US 30 for example today. The thesis is that we are buying, because if you look at the where the high and the low of the week is, we have our high of the week there, and we had our low of the week there prior to the London Open. Now, why do we call this the high and the low of the week? Because Monday sets the high of the week and the low of the week. So this is the high of Monday, this is the low of Monday. On Tuesday we have extended that low. Now if we go to the 1 minute time frame to look for our entry, so to look for our double bottom and double tops, so we are selling. Okay, what do you want to see? So there is this an area where price might come back to later, it's called a dump, and then we have the double bottom here. So we have the double bottom for this move up. Now, lastly, there is one thing that makes a double top or a double bottom have a higher chance of being a winning trade, and that is, we look at the break in structure. So this is where we have a break in structure. Now look at we have the double bottom, and then boom, once we have a break in structure, then we wait for a candle called the engulfment candle to lock in that low. So we have the break in structure, then we have this pullback or the retest, and then we have the engulfment candle at 345. So if you were to enter after the engulfment candle, there is a very high probability that price will not be coming back to that level, because the engulfment candle mostly is a signal that the low has been locked in after the double top or the double bottom. Point being, if you are trading the double top or the double bottom, what you want to see is, or your step number one is, identify your timing, your time, so the trading time. Number two is identify your levels, so that is the high of the day, high of the week, low of the week, and high of the week. And lastly, identify your break in structure. So you wait for price to come back to the low of the day in your timing window, and then if you are trading the 1 minute time frame, you look at the W pattern, which is the double bottom or the double top, wait for the break in structure, and then look for that engulfment candle as it locks in the low or the high for the move in your direction. So that is basically how to trade the double top or the double bottom. Now keep in mind, this is a game of probabilities and it does not work always. It is just a game of numbers. If you got value from today's video, subscribe and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.